as Ufoma said, those who are 24 years old, they will not know what we face in those days. We cook with sawdust, Ufoma.
Yes, absolutely. God will bless you. God will bless you for bringing this world.
It
Oh my God.
That is how difficult it was. When people are clamoring for work today, we are not in work then, but we know what we suffer.
You know,
kerosene explosion everywhere because people will import crazy
that
kerosene.
The military have to come to filling station to open all the filling station and start giving us kerosene. Those who are old enough, then, if we want to tell ourselves the truth, we should know that today we are better off, 100 times better off than where we were then.
Right.
Ufoma, thank you very much.
Thank you too. I remember seeing a video of a guy who went back to his grandma, I think in the village, and he wanted to know if he still remembered how to make that sawdust coal pot and everything, and he was so proud of himself that he was still able to do it. And what that did to me was that took me way back and said, wow. I think once in a while we should just be trying these things to just remind, because we need it.
It's part of what the president, it's part of what he's saying in the speech today, that don't take for granted. See, again, I will say this. There's a huge section of the country who still do not recognize Bola Tinubu as their president. He acknowledged that in his speech, even though he didn't say it in the words I just said. Let's also be honest with ourselves. I know the issue is in court and the court will determine, but as media people, we saw a lot of shenanigans that went on in that presidential election. Let's not even try to cover it up. A lot of shenanigans went on. But the truth of the matter is that there cannot be a vacuum. I would want a situation where we have elections, and there are a few African countries who have done that. We have elections and all the litigations done before somebody is sworn in. That's how I think it should be the proper way. Because the very moment you become the head of state or the president, you have enormous powers. We're in Africa. Even Trump tried to use his presidential powers to upturn an election in the US. Never been heard of before. But of course, the system fought him because the system is very strong.
Enough,
the system is over 200 years old. We don't have that kind of strong system in Nigeria. So it's very easy. And I always say this, apart from the US president, I think the most powerful president in the world is the Nigerian president. I can understand a section of the people's frustrations, a section of people saying, you know what, you're not my president, whatever you're saying, you're on your own, you quote unquote stole our mandate. A lot of all these comments are ongoing. Social media, even some call on our stations to say it. Yes. But for today, the essence of today is to celebrate the democracy that we have. The democracy that makes it easy and makes you able to voice out all of these complaints, to make it possible for you to go on Twitter and rant, and nobody is.
That's democracy.
That is the democracy, and like the president said, people will win, others will lose. If you're not able to accept defeat, you should not also be able to come out and celebrate when you have victory. So yes, we have issues. I have 1,001 issues with even the democracy we're talking about. We're going to go into the whole subsidy claims and conversation and all of that. And the question I keep asking that nobody has given me a correct answer, and I'm sure nobody will, is the government, the president, in his inaugural speech, in his Democracy Day speech today, harped on the need for Nigerians to endure, the need for us to.
He said the burden is going to be huge.
The burden is huge already, Sheriff. It's not about it's going to be huge. It is huge already.
He admitted it.
And good, and that's good for him to admit it, because Nigerians are going through sufferings. But why is the Nigerian populace the only people who should
go through this?
Who should go through this? Why is nobody talking about cutting down on the cost of governance? Why do we need to have, I know it's not going to happen overnight, yes, but we need to start having these conversations. Why do we need to have a Senate, 109 senators, and have 316 House of Reps? Is it not possible to harmonize these things together? Calculate the amount of the billions of naira yearly that the National Assembly spends. Why? Okay, I know it's in the Constitution, but the Constitution can be worked on. Why do we need to have 36 ministers Why? Yes, the Constitution says it now. Every state, and I understand to have
President
a sense of
President Buhari tried it to cut that number of ministers down.
Yeah, exactly. We have a report. I think it's a Rossany report. That talked about merging.
Yeah.
Why are we not doing it? I will say it till tomorrow. Nigeria's federal civil service and state civil service. Goodness me. Okay, let me not go there. Bottom line is, if the citizens are going to go through hardship, are going to buckle their belts and have to cut down costs on transportation, on feeding the family and all of that as a result of removal of subsidy, because things have skyrocketed. Why are state governors and president and commissioners having essays and essays and essays? Do you understand what I'm saying? The cost of governance is huge. It needs to be trimmed down so that we can, the same way we're trying to save money from subsidy, that it's there are other areas we can save money too. It should not be a question of only the Nigerian populace, while the elite, the politicians, continue the same way they are. I was listening to the former Minister of Aviation, Sadi Hirika, yesterday, and the man was literally going round and round in circles and not able to give a cogent reason of the or explanation for the billions he sunk into the supposed Nigerian air. He couldn't give good reasons. Why is he still free and nobody is asking questions? Okay, yes, the House of Reps are asking questions, but the House of Reps cannot arrest him.
should have picked
exactly
him up.
He should be answering questions.
I shouldn't have been going down that road because you guys don't even understand what we went through in those days. You have no idea. Curfews, unannounced curfews, you don't even know what went down. And you don't understand. If you did, you would not be talking like this. I do not want an interim government. I don't want anything interim. I voted. Let it be so. Of course, usual exuberance. Let me use that word. They just get carried away, be free. That time, I was in university. I called under the gate, Sheriff.
Sorry.
You can imagine. It was just not the time. You couldn't go anywhere. I didn't even cook with, my mom didn't cook with sawdust. We didn't use sawdust, but at least we had it difficult. We were using charcoal, not even sawdust. My mother got a small charcoal pot, those charcoal things to cook. And then somebody is telling me that somebody, long.